The following program is rated MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, it doesn't matter who the host is.
Well, hello, and welcome to another glorious edition of the Rated R Safety Show. Yeah, I almost sounded like I was going to vomit there, but I didn't really mean that intention behind it. Anyways, August the 15th. Of this glorious year of 2019. Hopefully you're having a freaking fantastic time this week. I have to tell you, it's been a crazy busy week, but it's been so much fun. I'm glad that I've been able to come to you daily with the updates of the news and the craziness that we call the Rated R Safety Show. So this week in particular, we're not going to have any ranters, and I guess that's perfectly fine. But like I've told you in the past, if you're extremely interested in coming in to rant, you can go to ratedarsafetyshow.com. That's ratedarsafetyshow.com. We have an area right there set up where you can actually come in, give us your information. We'll get you on to rant. But in the very, very, very near future, I'm going to set something up right there where you can actually rant directly from your browser. Oh, yeah, you heard me correctly there. Directly from your browser, we'll take the recording and dump it in to the show. That way, it makes it so much easier for you. Of course, there'll be some kind of form of release form, but also at that same time, you can give us the information if you want voice protection, and that way we can move you forward in regards of the whole ranting portion. And you don't have to worry too much. Anyways, it's been a pretty exciting week this week. I've been able to meet some very, very interesting people that are in this whole world of podcasting. Lot of information, but I'm not going to bore you with that. Let's get it started, and let's get started with the news right now on the Rated R Safety Show.
Safety never sounded so terrible. Rated R Safety Show. Safety in a way never heard of before. The Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM. Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
So as we talk about safety and we talk about the news and we talk about the things that are going on, well, would love to start off with something nice, but it's not very good what we have to say here. So let's go off right off the bat. Things aren't looking too good for retailer Macy's. On Wednesday, which was yesterday, the company announced that it missed the quarterly profit goals for the first time in 2 years. Shares are down 18% for the nation's largest U.S. department store operator. Heading into the summer, it slashed prices on spring inventory, leading to a significant profit drop. That is no bueno, no bueno, no bueno. As you already are aware, today is Thursday, August the 15th. Did you know that it is the day 227th of the year so far? So what does that mean to us? We only have 138 days remaining before the year is up. Man, where in the hell did this year go? So some craziness going on in Philadelphia. While serving a drug warrant in northern suburbs of Philadelphia yesterday afternoon, officer got caught in an hour-long standoff. The shooter hit at least 6 officers, all of them whom have reportedly already been released from the hospital. At one point, 2 officers were taken hostage by the gunman. Those men were rescued by SWAT teams, but the standoff went into the night. One bystander reported hundreds of shots being fired. The man eventually taken into custody before midnight Central Time. What in the freak is going on there? You're going to take some police officers hostage? I mean, taking anybody hostage, period, is just quite crazy. But man, imagine the balls on that dude. That is just plain nuts. And take a look at it. Take a listen. You have to understand, if you do the crime, you got to do the time. Then some more news here. Not the greatest thing you want to hear, but a survey recently done by Bankrate says that 42% of Americans cannot afford to go on vacation. 1/3 of the people said that 5 years ago they had more money available to be able to actually go on vacation. The other 2/3 said the following: they cannot go on vacation because how expensive the recreational activities cost. Now, I know that sometimes we go into some weird stuff here, but what do you think? Do you think that the prices throughout the United States have actually gone up and the pay has not went up at the same time? What do you think? Are you doing financially better than what you were? We'll use the case of what was mentioned here 5 years ago. Or do you feel that you're in the same wheelhouse? I don't know. I sit behind a microphone and talk. Going down the money scenario and having those discussions, have you heard about this new one here from the IRS? The IRS is implementing a new program to track down those with back taxes. Oh yeah, back taxes. The federal tax collector will revoke or fail to renew passports of those who owe more than, are you ready for this? $52,000 in back taxes. CNBC reports the FAST Act authorizing the move passed through Congress in February of last year, but implementation has been extremely slow. Now the IRS has announced that it's working with the State Department to make good on the law. So as this thing continues to twist, as we're going down this path with money, you want to chuckle at this funny thing here? I know we talk about safety, and we really talk about other things that are going on at the same time, but Market Watch says the following: the best job in 2019? I would love to tell you that it's a safety manager, but I got bad news. It's not. It is actually a tax manager. Isn't that funny? Based on what we're talking about. Those folks are a medium base salary. Are you ready for this? $112,021 a year. That's $112,021 a year. Meanwhile, despite the tight job market, there are 4,803 such openings available nationwide. Tax managers work with larger businesses and organizations to accurately prepare taxes to state and federal governments. So, I'm not telling you, hey, leave the safety industry. But man, if you want to make some dough, some cash, some moolah, $112,000 does not sound too bad. And being a tax manager, well, it could be a little tedious, but I'm sure that it's worth its while. So here's a news story coming out of Seattle. Now, I don't know if Pokemon Go is still a thing. I have recently watched that Pokemon movie. Thought it was kind of odd, but I'm not everybody's target audience. It's perfectly fine. Even my daughter was a little confused on what the hell was going on there. But let's continue down. A Seattle area man has been cited after being stopped by an officer for playing Pokemon Go. And I'm like, what's so wrong with that? Oh, he was playing it on 8 devices at one time. The stop happened on Tuesday night. The driver was at a stop, but was cited for distracted driving. The driver reportedly had special contraptions that displayed the smartphones all at once in a big panel. Well, holy shit, man. You're actually out there with 8 devices while you're driving, playing Pokemon Go? Someone has to let me know how good that game is. I mean, that is this kind of nutty in regards of actually doing that, because it doesn't make any sense to me. But then again, I'm not the target for the game. So what are you doing? Are you having fun? Is it that much fun that it's worth doing these things where you're getting pulled over? And I'll tell you, I've been to Seattle several hundreds of times, and they have some very strict laws in regards of distracted driving. Anyways, let's continue. So I always love when people try to be clever with things. And here's a pretty interesting story that's coming out of actually California. Wired has a pretty fun feature about a California man whose license plate was null, Null. It was supposed to be a compliment to his wife's plate that said void, V-O-I-D. But there's a problem. Many programming languages use the entry null, N-U-L-L, when there's no value to enter. So many times that a cop didn't put a license plate information during a citation, what ended up taking place was this particular person who had the N-U-L-L, or no license plate, would actually get the ticket. At one point, the man faced a total fines that he had incurred because of the null license plate, or N-U-L-L, for $12,049. Now, I have to tell you, it's pretty funny that, this would end up taking place. But at the same time, too, I guess if you want to be a goofy guy, it didn't work out too well for you. And I know that here's some information that's actually taking place that was close to Alaska here in our lovely country of the USA. But Russia has flown 2 nuclear bombers to islands close to Alaska. The country's Ministry of Defense acknowledged the movement was part of a tactical exercise, according to Reuters. And did you hear about the Fresno man? Did you hear about this thing that occurred on Tuesday night? A Fresno man died Tuesday night after participating in a taco eating contest at a minor league baseball game. He was rushed from the park during the contest, and a toxicology report is still pending. An autopsy should happen later today before an official determination is made, but first responders did report clearing food from the man's throat in attempt to revive him. So this dude is probably going to end up dying from Taco Tuesday, and that's not some shit that I want to hear. It's an unfortunate event, don't get me wrong. But man, Taco Tuesday is one of my favorite days of the week. I love me some tacos. Sorry to hear about the man's passing, of course. So let's go through it one more time. The days of the year that we get to celebrate today in this lovely day, which is the 15th of August. Here we go. Starting it off from the top. Today could be celebrated as Relaxation Day. Check the Chip Day. What the hell is that? Can somebody tell me that one? I Love Cowboys and Cowgirls Day. Is that a Texas holiday? National Best Friends Day. National Failures Day. And National Lemon Meringue Pie Day. Man, today seems like a pretty shitty day in regards to what you can celebrate. Because if you do the National Best Friends Day and National Failures Day, does that mean that your best friend was a failure? Okay, that's not, maybe I'm reading that into too many weird context on what's going on. Anyways, you've been listening to the Rated R Safety Show. I know who you are. You know who I am. Love you, mean it. Bye.
Duh.
This show is almost as enjoyable as hearing the sound of the toilet flush. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.